Okay, so we're going to be looking at quantity and profit under monopolistic competition. And this is from my microeconomics textbook, and I'm Rickard Friberg. Okay, so monopolistic competition, it's a kind of a setting where we're essentially assuming that three things are holding. So it's firms are selling differentiated products. There are many competitors, right? So that we're disregarding strategic interaction, and there's free entry and exit, meaning that it's easy for new firms to enter the market and essentially copy or replicate what the existing firms are doing. So restaurants is a typical example of a market that we believe is often workably described by monopolistic competition. Okay, so restaurants are different. There's Thai, there's Chinese, there's different types of products. They have different menus. Staff will be different. The ambiance will be different. So they differ, meaning that they each face a downward sloping demand curve. Okay, so if they can, in principle, change their price. Higher prices will mean that they sell a bit less, but demand will not just disappear. There are many competitors, typically. There might be strategic interaction. What if this restaurant changes its price? What will the response be by the next door restaurant? You could ponder such things, but if we want to understand the restaurant market as a whole, makes sense to disregard such issues. And it's free entry. It's not that it's costless, but it's easy to enter. Need to find somewhere to operate your business. You need to hire some staff, but then you're essentially good to go. And we see that there's a lot of entry and exit typically in the restaurant business. And we're, why are we using this kind of model? Well, two reasons, I guess. We could think of several, but one is that not all markets are the same. Some markets are best described by oligopoly. There's just 2 or 3 firms that are interacting strategically by setting quantities or prices. Others, commodities, we can workably think of as perfectly competitive markets, and yet others, like restaurants, would fit a monopolistic competition model best, probably. Okay. And clearly, if we want to analyze those markets, see how changes in costs or regulations affect them, we need to have a workable model of those markets. So that's one reason. Another reason is that it's a way of dealing with imperfect competition that's quite straightforward, so that we can use it, for instance, in macro models or in models of international trade or models of innovation. So in both of those, international trade and innovation, there have been Nobel Prizes, for instance, awarded to relying on monopolistic competition models to think about imperfect competition in such settings. Okay, so we have want to illustrate some of the key mechanisms of what's going on. So here's let's do second one as well. So here's so monopolistic competition firm is facing downward sloping demand. There's price quantity on the axis. So it's a downward sloping demand. They have a marginal revenue curve that's steeper than the demand curve, like that. They face a maybe change color here for the marginal cost. Let's do that in red. They have a marginal cost curve. Could be flat, could be, have several different shapes, but let's assume it's like this here. So there's marginal cost. So this far, this could be a model of a monopoly. It's monopolistic competition. So it's would set quantity, Q star, at the point where marginal cost intersects marginal revenue, and the price would be given by that quantity evaluated at the demand curve. Okay, so we can call that P in the short run, Q in the short run, we're having a average total cost curve here to look at profits. So evaluated at the profit maximizing quantity, profits will be just as for the monopolist, difference between price and average total cost at this point. Okay, so profits will be given by this area. So that's in the short run. So we've here used that there are no strategic issues. We're disregarding competitors, and we've used that they're selling differentiated products, so they have a downward sloping demand. Thing that's particular though with the monopolistic competition model is that there's free entry. Okay, so here there are profits, implying what? Well, if there are profits, we expect those to attract entry, just as in the perfectly competitive model. So what will entry do in this kind of model? Well, for simplicity, assume that there's no direct effect on the cost function, but on the demand, something will happen. So if I'm a restaurant, I'm selling pizzas or whatever in my neighborhood, other restaurants are coming in. What are they going to be doing? Well, they're going to be stealing some of my customers. For every given price that I'm charging, there will be fewer customers left for me. Some will have gone to the competitor. For the very highest prices, maybe no one will be willing to buy at those higher prices, and at other levels, the demand will be shifting inwards. Okay, so we can think of new demand curve after entry has occurred. Let's do that in blue here. So entry is going to be shifting the demand curve, rotating it typically. So say that demand curve for the firm shifts to something like this. Okay, so it's shifting inwards for every price that the firm is setting, selling fewer units. Okay, because some of the consumers are going to the competitors. Okay, and it might need not be shifting perfectly symmetrically. It makes sense that it's shifting more towards the top, so it's also rotating. It's particularly for high prices that you lose customers. Okay, so that's a new demand curve. That new demand curve is going to be associated with a new marginal revenue curve. So let's illustrate that. So that's D. This is MR, marginal revenue. We could actually just clean up here a bit, take away the long run or the short run stuff rather. Like this. So we see we still have the same cost function. We've been having entry here, presumably. So the demand curve has shifted inwards. Quantity, profit maximizing quantity, as before, given marginal revenue equals marginal cost, but that's now at another point. Should be straight up here. At this point, what do we have? Well, we have, let's take away these as well. We have that as before, price. Getting price by looking at the profit maximizing quantity. What's the price associated with that? That's price in the long run, Q long run. Take away the short run price or quantity rather, like that. What's cost here? Well, this point, profit maximizing quantity and its associated price occurs at a point where the average total cost curve is tangent to the price, okay, to the demand curve, okay. So price equals average total cost at that point. Profits are zero, okay. So as long as there are profits to be made, there will be entry, and that's shifting the demand curve in, okay. And just as in the case of perfectly competitive market, we're saying zero profit. Doesn't mean that accounting profits are zero. It means that there's approximately zero economic profits to be made in the long run. Okay, so long run equilibrium in a monopolistically competitive market looks something like this.